So What If Season 3 had so much promise and so much potential, especially after Season 1 had so many epic moments. For example, Supreme Strange, Hank Pym becoming evil, Infinity Ultron, Marvel Zombies. I mean, come on, this season could have and should have just been so much better. I mean, this show as a whole has so much ambition and so much potential that they just wasted it in this season. And ironically, that closing montage really did demonstrate how potentially brilliant this series could have and should have even been. All of that being said though, I feel like the final episode did have some pretty epic moments, and one thing that you can be guaranteed with every single What If episode is that the final battle will be unbelievable. And they really do leave you wanting more. And I hope we do get a season 4 after everything is wrapped up in Avengers sequels. And I think it was absolutely the right decision to focus the final episode on Uatu. And there were so many awesome moments. For example, when Uatu turns all of his team into their own versions of the Watchers, when he says, you know, I am Uatu, when the superior Watchers are nearly gonna wipe out all of these characters from existence. I feel like if all the episodes were at this caliber, and also at the caliber of the White Vision episode, I feel like that one was absolutely brilliant, then it would just leave the audience truly desiring more, and just the anticipation for what's happening next, most likely in Avengers Doomsday, would just be off the charts. But nonetheless, there definitely were some glimmers of brilliance across this season, even though as an entire package, it could have been so much better. So season 3 had 8 episodes, so let's rank all 8 of them. So at number 8, I'm going to put the 1872 episode. Now I know a lot of people did like it, and I'm a mega big fan of both Shang-Chi and Kate Bishop, but unfortunately I just found this episode incredibly boring, really underwhelming, and I'm just not the biggest fan of westerns, and you could just see that Red Hood twist a mile off that I just felt like it was such an underwhelming final reveal. And at number 7, I'm going to put the Red Guardian and the Winter Soldier episode. And very similarly, I do love Red Guardian and Bucky. I think as characters they are really funny, and as a pairing they did work really well together. But one thing that I do not expect from What If is to leave me feeling bored, and I just felt really bored with this episode, even though, like I said, it was cool to go on an adventure with them. Like with a lot of episodes this season, it should have just been replaced by something better. In at number 6, I'm going to put the first episode, so Hulk versus the Mech Avengers. So I think having one Mech Avenger is fair enough, but having a whole team of them was just so dull. And originally, I was going to put this in 8th place, but the only redeeming factor with this episode is a relationship between Bruce Banner and Sam Wilson kind of saved it. In at number 5, I'm going to put Agatha going to Hollywood. So similarly, you know, Agatha is of course a really cool character. I'm the biggest fan of Agatha all along. I thought that series was really well put together, but with this episode, I feel like the Hollywood tropes just got old very quickly, and I just thought it was unrealistic for how Agatha has been depicted so far. The fact that she can use her sucking abilities to suck the entire powers of 2 Celestials, I just thought was ridiculous and just really unrealistic. I mean, the bar is of course set really low with this season, and so the only reason that I put this episode a bit higher is that I thought her fight with Arishem did look pretty cool. In at number 4, I'm going to put the Howard the Duck episode. Now, even though this episode was really weird, and was another episode that was just clearly taking up the space of something a lot better, again, the only reason that it's higher up on this list is that it hasn't got much competition, and also I thought it was really cool seeing so many different factions within the Marvel Cinematic Universe coming into one space. I thought was actually pretty awesome. In at number 3, I'm going to put the penultimate episode. So I thought it was really cool firstly seeing Kang's tech having a lot more focus on Uatu and kind of his background. I thought that was really cool actually. Across a number of episodes, you are seeing that the Watchers are watching the Watcher, and it really reminded me of the X-Men animated series when they were focusing on season 2. A number of episodes, you are just seeing right at the end what is happening with Magneto and Xavier when they are chucked into the Savage Lands. It kind of reminded me of that in terms of having the final couple of moments in the latter half of the season focusing on what's happening with the Watcher. And speaking of the X-Men, having Storm in here was just unbelievable. And of course, we got the mega awesome character Infinity Ultron back here. In at number 2, I'm going to put the White Vision and Riri Williams episode. I absolutely loved it. I thought a psychotic Quentin Beck was just absolutely incredible. And speaking of the X-Men and other franchises, having Spider-Man characters really cleverly interwoven into the fabric of the MCU just worked so well. And then on top of that, you've got the unstoppable White Vision. Really does show what an omega threat Vision can be when he is used properly. And even though we've not had the Ironheart series released so far, I think Riri Williams was a really compelling character to lead this episode. And I feel like the message of having self-belief within yourself, I think, is a really good one. And in at number 1 is of course the final episode. I loved it. It was fully focusing on the Watcher and I feel like him creating his own Watcher Avengers was really, really wicked. Seeing them fighting in the 5th dimension against the Supreme Watchers, and then them almost wiping all of these characters out from existence. Though it was incredibly unrealistic, the fact that Captain Carter is the one that saves the day ultimately. She really was the main character for the creators of What If. But I definitely feel like this final episode felt super epic, and the fact that it just left you wanting more, that really is a sign of a successful final episode. So What If Season 3 definitely is watchable and enjoyable, but it could have and should have just been so much better. So much unlimited potential, and the fact that we got the episodes that we did is just truly bizarre. As if anything, that final montage I feel like did them a disservice, as it definitely showed everybody that this season could have been 10 out of 10. The fact that they didn't even focus on Wanda and Spider-Man at all in this season is just mind-blowing. And if anything, I feel like if Wanda was replacing Captain Carter, that would have been a little bit more realistic. As far as a season comparison goes, I feel like season 1 is still the best one. There were some truly incredible moments, both from a battle point of view as well as from an emotional stakes point of view. But as far as season 3 of What If is concerned, it ultimately was really, really disappointing. And so for all of those reasons, I'm going to give it a 5.5 out of 10. Now I'd love to hear from you. What did you think of What If Season 3? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.